Bhagavad Gita. Today in the live classroom, it's chapter number 5, and we have opted to take 2 verses at the same time. Generally, the practice is to initiate upon 1 verse in 1 live classroom. But today, the entanglement of the ethos is to such a magnitude that I could not spare to leave the another verse. So I had to accommodate 2 verses in the same classroom. We start with the verse number 24, which gathers its light from the previous verse number 23, where a specific word came that said, Kam Krodho Udbhavam. Before this physical dimension shall perish, one should try to absorb and endure the urge, the drives of the urge that come down to us in the form of 6 enemies, out of which greed, lust, anger, ego, etc., arrogance, they're all part of it. They're primarily 6 enemies that have been understood under the parlance of ancient Indian wisdom that do not allow a human being to evolve as a higher being. And one has to fight, make way, struggle through these 6 enemies. Now, having said that, in verse number 24, the great master of all times, Adiguru Muni Ved Vyas, continues to say that whosoever has been able to graduate, evolve, or has become an exalted being of a higher dimension shall experience these 3 aspects within one's own self. In chapter number 5, since last about 7 to 8 verse, we are observing time and again a mention which is being reiterated again and again. That goes to convey, strongly assert, that there is a world, there is a dimension which opens up its doors when the human being is absorbed within. The general interaction, the business that we do with the world outside is through the sensory drivers. These sensory drivers have got great limitations to exercise. And it's quite often that a misconstrued or a misunderstood or a limited extent of information regarding people, situation and circumstances is furthered to a human brain for its understanding. And upon a fractured understanding, we start creating and making up perceptions. Unlike that, when a human being is absorbed within one's own self, a new window opens up through which one is able to cite the entirety of the facts pertaining to different people, situations or subjects. That understanding has been furthered and continued in verse number 24, where it goes on to say, whosoever is absorbed within, not paralyzed by the confinements of the sensory drivers, one who is absorbed within, one who has accessed the higher dimension within one's own self, shall experience antah sukha. Antah sukha means a sense of great accomplishment. There is a difference between accumulation and accomplishment. Generally, what we understand as accomplishment in the ordinary parlance of the physical world or the world outside is by accumulation. When we accumulate more, we accomplish. Whereas accomplishment has got nothing to do with accumulation. People might accumulate lot many things, yet they may not consider themselves as accomplished. They may find themselves as withdrawn from that actual zenith of accomplishment. The actual accomplishment is a feeling of inner consummation, where one feels that one has cherished the purpose of being, whether a human or just a being. You have cherished the purpose of becoming a being. When you cherish the purpose of becoming a being, that sense of accomplishment is the true accomplishment. And that has been mentioned here as Sukha. Sukha over here is the true accomplishment. A feeling, a sensation that is unparalleled. Nothing can be compared to this. And this observation can only be experienced when you have some lofty ideals and you try to reach out and extend than a normal human being. When you are working for the benefit of the others, it's only then that you reach out and access a higher state of joy within, a higher state of accomplishment. So here it mentions that the people or the being who are absorbed within, who have accessed a new dimension within, gather a high sense of accomplishment. Second thing is Antara Ramaha. They prevail and they pervade within their own world. They need not come out to access anything from the world outside, although they externally appear to transact with the world outside. They outwardly seem to be living an ordinary life like any other ordinary human being. Yet, within themselves, they find totality, they find entirety. There's nothing else that the world outside can provide them. So they are in a sense of completeness within themselves. Tatha antaha jyoti. They access a luminosity which is beyond words. This luminosity I have mentioned in one of my lectures around 2 years ago. See, before I go on to express about luminosity, I must add over here a small caveat I am adding over here. These are higher states which I have not experienced. The beautitude of the Sanatan Paddhati, the Hindu way of our living the life, is that our great masters have laid down the entire roadmap for us. They've explained to us how things are going to fall before us if we evolve. Once we start graduating further, we start evolving, how are we going to come across what kind of sensation, joy, feeling, experiences are going to come our way. It's like before starting towards any other destination, if you're able to access to the Google map, the entire GPS provides you the route, the alternate routes, the traffic en route, etc., etc. You can even calculate the time. Likewise, these are scriptures. They make a specific mention to the entire GPS of the cycle of human evolution. They pave the way for us and they tell us, they inform us what is going to come our way once we start taking the steps on a right pedestal. Antarjyoti is about luminosity. What luminosity is it? The kind of experience that I was able to gather while being with my own Brahma Rishi was, my great master was, I gathered that these people, they acquire a capability of having a galactic torch. Galactic torch, galactic means something which can even explore galaxies. It can unravel, uncover the mysteries of the galaxy. They have a galactic torch. Whatever subject they want to unravel, the moment they take the torch towards that subject, it unfolds its entire information before them. So that galactic torch is the capability that they become equipped with. And that is this Antarjyoti, the inner luminosity. Everything before them becomes luminous. There is nothing that can be left dark. There is nothing which remains obscure before them. Everything with absolute clarity has to come before them. Everything surfaces before them. And that is this Antarjyoti. And they feel and they observe and they experience everything within themselves. Because one word is very common, is Antaha, Antaha, Antaha. Everything is being experienced within, within, within. Because the higher dimensions of exalted beings or one's journey, one's voyage that one has to traverse further is within. It's because the confinements of the physical sensory drivers has got great limitations and constraints. You cannot go beyond a stretch, you really cannot. To be able to touch the extremes that are infinite, one has to access the window within. And that is what has been denoted over here as antah, antah, antah. The sense of deep accomplishment, the sense of prevailing for everything within, the observation of luminosity within. This all are accessed by Sahayogi Brahma Nirmanam Brahma Bhuta Adhikachati. The one who has been able to explore the essence of the Brahma, the Creator. Brahma Bhuta, the one who has been able to become one. Oneness has been experienced with the Creator. They are the ones that are able to access these three. Otherwise, in general, with confinements of the physical dimension at an ordinary plane, you and me seek accomplishment outside in the form of accumulations. We try to prevail in the world outside and search our subjects for contemplation in the world outside. At the same time, for any seeking of any new input of information, we search the world outside. We try to access various inputs of information. It's not that we are dependent upon a world which has been concealed so far from our own comprehension within. We are dependent. We are jeopardized. We are confined to the world which is outside. After having gone through the verse number 24, I have the privilege of being associated, being born in the great legacy of a great unknown ancient masters who have bequeathed upon us this edifice of knowledge that we term as our scriptures, ancient scripture under Sanatan Paddhati, the lineage of the Sanatan Dharma, the Hindu Dharma. And this great verse echoes a message, a direct message, which is unparalleled. It goes on to say, Labante Brahma Nirvanam Rishayah Kshina Kalmashaha Chinna Dvaidha Yatatmanaha Sarvabhuta Hite Rataha. Who is a Rishi? Rishi, different scholars have been able to derive Rishi from a different root, and they have expressed it according to their understanding. I have understood Rishi being derived from a basic word Rit, which we can understand as cosmic law, cosmic substance, cosmic raw material, cosmic constitution, anything which is related to the cosmic stuff. The knowledge of that, one who absorbs the knowledge about this cosmic constitution or cosmic law, is called as Rishi. Who is a Rishi? What are the qualifications of a Rishi? What will enable one graduate to the level of becoming a Rishi? That has been mentioned over here, and that's something interesting, because the last word would be something which marks a significance that supersedes all other understanding. It goes on to say, one who has been able to clear off all stains, wash away all stains, all other accumulations in the form of various concealments. According to the ancient understanding, Indian understanding we have, unless one has removed all stains within, entire contamination has been done away with, one does not become to have a clear conscience. To be able to have a clear conscience, one has to wash away all that we may even term as sins, certain karmic baggage that we have brought forward into this life from past unknown lives. Once you dispense away with that, you settle with that, you wash away everything that you have, you become stain free. Not even an iota of it is left. That is called as Kshina Kalmasha. Kshina means something that you get rid of, you wash away. Kalmasha means the dirt or the stain whatever. Chinna Dvaidha, one who has now relinquished all duality, all dichotomy. There is nothing which can make you swing like a pendulum, that whether this would be appropriate or this is going to be the apt form. Whether I should go for something that is attracting me or I should be repulsive to something. Whether happiness or whether remorse. So there is a swing. We normal human beings, including you and me, we generally swing like a pendulum between two strings. And our swinging motion accrues and amounts to certain delusive dichotomies that make us enter into a duality. We are not stable, we are not stationary. This scintillating mind is because of this duality. It says, one who has been able to seize all duality, one who has now settled into oneness, one who has now nothing else to consider, one who has come out of everything that is otherwise conflicting in state of absolute settlement. That being, we are talking about the criterion that mentioned the eligibility of a rishi. The first one we mentioned was one who is absolutely stain free, pure. The second is one who has been able to seize all duality dichotomies. Yadatmanaha, one who is in absolute control of the self, one who is enjoying exclusive absolute sovereignty within one's own self. We understand what is sovereignty in the parlance of nations, but an individual being also is a nation in its own completeness. And if one is confined within one's own self, working and striving for one's own core pursuit, then only we can say that one is a complete sovereign within. Otherwise, there are routing factors that deviate, distract, and dismantle all our endeavors from our primary pursuit of evolution. Yadatmanaha, one who is in absolute control of the self. These are the eligibility criteria that comprise and constitute a seer, that is rishi. A rishi who can benefit the status of Brahma Nirvana, being one with the Brahma, being one with the Creator, trying to know and absorb and experience the Creator. The last is 1, 2, 3, 4. The last is Sarva Bhuta Hite Rataha. All these qualifications or eligibility factors shall fall short of this last one, which says one who has given entire self for the benefit of the entire creation, Sarva Bhuta. Not only the mankind, not only the insect kingdom, not only the animal kingdom, not only the bird kingdom, not only the elements of the nature, anything and everything that prevails, anything and everything that exists around us comes under Sarva Bhuta. Hita means for the benefit of them, for the sake of them, trying to rise above of the vested interest and offering one's own life as a sacrificial oblation for the benefit of others is termed as Sarva Bhuta Hite. This is the beautitude of the Sanatana Hindu Dharma. Even at the helm where the zenith to touch the Almighty stands, even then, short of this, one cannot comprise to constitute eligibility of being a rishi. From Godward to Manward, this is a beautiful word used by one of the great scholars in the light of this particular verse, and I'm borrowing it. From Godward to Manward. Under the understanding of ancient Indian wisdom, even if you have come across or experienced the Creator, it's your prime responsibility, it's your mandatory obligation to come down and offer yourself in the service of the mankind, offer yourself in the service of this entire kingdom of the Creator. Because in the capacity of a creator, one has to overlook, one has to see all functionalities that are going around. And one who is the utmost emissary of that great creator shall do what? Shall do the same. Shall certainly look and supervise and contribute into the running of the affairs, the running of the function, the running of the business of the Creator, and sarva bhuta hite, for the benefit of them. And the benefit of them is to evolve them, not to please them. There is a difference between pleasing people and evolving people. Those who are great masters may not please people, but they certainly work to evolve people. Generally, what we understand is, if someone is pleasing someone is making someone happy, is a real contribution. Yes, that is also a part of contribution. There is no denial to that. But a larger contribution is not only in pleasing, but in evolving a human being. You may displease a person, but if you are able to evolve that human being, that is the true service you are doing to it. Because the duration, the tenure of one being pleased is short-lived. It cannot go. It's just like an old proverb that says that better than feeding a fish, teach them how to catch a fish. Likewise, here when you evolve a human being, you graduate him to scale the higher dimensions of understanding. Whereas if you please him, you are just giving him a clutchers which are going to make him rather become more paralyzed. He or she will not be able to exercise the true potential that is born within a human being. Under this great verse, the ancient understanding conveys, you cannot claim the eligibility of being a great seer or a master unless you wash away all your stains, unless you come out of all delusion, dichotomy or duality, unless you have absolute control about your own inner self, and unless you offer yourself as a sacrificial oblation for the benefit, for the evolution of the entire kingdom of the Creator. And not only you offer yourself, rataha, you remain into it, you prevail and pervade into it, you just be it, you just be the source of service, you just be an oblation, a sacrificial oblation for the service of the entire creation. Anything short of it shall not allow you to scale to the heights of being a rishi. And if you are not a rishi, Brahma Nirvanam, being one with the Creator, is not a status that you are going to qualify for. These two verses give us a deep esoteric understanding about the ancient Indian wisdom, the great masters that envisaged the entire roadmap for human evolution. We broadcast our live classroom every second and last Sunday of every month. In Hindi it is 7:30 at a different page, in English it's 9:30 a.m. Till the next classroom, from this teacher, it's Om Shanti, 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 Om.